Welcome. We've got some thrilling Arsenal news lined up for you, so stay tuned until the end to catch all the latest updates. And don't forget to leave 300 likes to keep us motivated in bringing you the latest Arsenal updates. Mikel Arteta has been cautioned about the compatibility of two Arsenal summer signings, with Theo Walcott expressing concerns over the midfield balance following a 1-1 draw against Manchester City in the Premier League on Sunday. Walcott, a former Gunners forward, believes Arteta needs to be bolder in his midfield selections, particularly as the duo of Mikel Merino and Martin Zubimendi, both left-footed and similar in style, appeared to hinder each other. With Martin Odegaard sidelined, Arteta opted for physicality over creativity by starting Merino alongside Zubimendi and Declan Rice, a decision that drew criticism after Arsenal struggled to create clear-cut chances despite dominating possession. Walcott suggested that a more creative player, such as Eberechi, who was left on the bench, could have provided the spark needed in the number 10 role. Walcott questioned Arteta's cautious approach, noting that Arsenal only showed attacking intent in the dying moments when Gabriel Martinelli's late equaliser salvaged a point after Erling Haaland's first-half opener. The result left Arsenal 5 points adrift of league leaders Liverpool, marking their second lacklustre performance against a title rival this season after a 1-0 defeat at Anfield. Walcott remarked that Arteta's early substitutions hinted at an admission of flawed team selection, adding, "Why did Arsenal only push forward at the 90th minute? Why not from the start? Usually, I don't critique Arteta, but it feels like he got away with it today." Luis Figo speaks out on Arsenal hold Manchester City to a thrilling 1-1 draw. Premier League title race heats up. A cracking encounter at the Emirates last night saw Arsenal and Manchester City battle to a 1-1 stalemate in Week 5 of the 2025-26 Premier League season. This pulsating draw underscored Arsenal's credentials as genuine title contenders, while extending Mikel Arteta's impressive record. Unbeaten in his last 5 Premier League clashes against Pep Guardiola, 2 wins, 3 draws. Martin Odegaard's coolly converted penalty put Arsenal ahead, only for City to hit back swiftly, setting the stage for a proper ding-dong battle in the race for the Premier League crown. Arsenal bossed possession with a commanding 67.2%, leaving City with a measly 32.8%, their lowest under Guardiola, only bettered by another humbling against Arsenal in a previous meeting. The Gunners' high-pressing, fast-transitioning style had City on the ropes, forcing them into long balls, a rare sight for a side known for their tiki-taka mastery. Yet, despite carving out chances, Arsenal's failure to finish, particularly through new signing Victor Gyökeres, left them ruining missed opportunities. Odegaard was the standout, leading from the front as captain. His penalty, his third goal of the campaign, was dispatched with ice-cold precision, and his 85% pass accuracy and 3 key passes were the heartbeat of Arsenal's attack. In contrast, Gyökeres, the £70 million man from Sporting Lisbon, had a night to forget. With just 22 touches, no shots, and 13 balls lost, he looked out of sorts. Arteta leapt to his defence, citing a lack of service, though stats show Arsenal created 4 clear-cut chances. The defensive pairing of Gabriel Magalhaes and William Saliba was rock-solid, keeping Erling Haaland to a single shot on target. New boy Christian Mosquera, signed from Valencia, showed promise as a long-term option at the back. Meanwhile, Eberechi, freshly arrived from Crystal Palace, chipped in with a vital assist, proving his already clicking in Arteta's system. Portuguese legend Luis Figo weighed in on the match, stating, "Arsenal showed they're no longer pushovers. Arteta has built a team with a champion's mentality, but they need to be more ruthless in front of goal. Gyökeres has huge potential, but the Premier League is a tough test. This game proves Arsenal can compete with City, but consistency will be key." Figo's words highlight the fine margins Arsenal must conquer to turn promise into silverware. Social media, particularly X, was abuzz with Arsenal fans' reactions. Many lauded the team's gutsy display in stifling City's possession to a historic low, but there was stick for Arteta's rotation choices, starting over Gabriel Jesus or Leandro Trossard raised eyebrows. Gyökeres copped flack too, with some supporters drawing parallels to Kai Havertz's slow start last season, while others fretted over a potential transfer flop. This result leaves Arsenal third in the table with 10 points from 5 matches, 2 points adrift of leaders City. With Liverpool also lurking, the title race is shaping up to be a proper scrap. Last night's draw proves Arsenal can go toe-to-toe with the best, but sharpening their cutting edge in attack remains Arteta's biggest challenge. Looking ahead, Arsenal face a crucial Champions League trip to Athletic Bilbao next week. A win in Spain, especially with Bilbao's Nico Williams sidelined, could be a massive boost. Arteta believes the squad's depth bolstered by signings like Martin Zubimendi, Eze, and Mosquera gives them the tools to compete on both domestic and European fronts. This 1-1 draw wasn't just a point earned. It was a statement that Arsenal are now on level terms with giants like Manchester City. To end their 21-year wait for a Premier League title, Arteta must ensure his attack Gyökeres included starts firing on all cylinders. With big matches looming, the Gunners are on the right track, but staying the course will decide if they can finally lift the trophy. Come on, you Gunners! Arsenal face injury woes ahead of Carabao Cup clash with Port Vale. Arsenal are grappling with two fresh injury woes as they gear up for the third-round Carabao Cup clash against Port Vale on Wednesday evening. The Gunners, still buzzing from a hard-fought 1-1 draw with Manchester City in the Premier League at the weekend, look destined for a narrow defeat until a dramatic leveller in stoppage time. That point, snatched from the jaws of loss, keeps Mikel Arteta's side in the title hunt, but the mounting fitness concerns threaten to cast a shadow over their cup ambitions. Gabriel Martinelli proved the unlikely hero, tearing down the left flank with that trademark Gunners grit before lofting a sublime finish over the despairing dive of Ederson. The Brazilian's predatory instinct turned the tide at the Emirates, sparing Arsenal's blushes against a City side that had dominated much of the affair through Erling Haaland's clinical opener. Yet, beneath the celebrations, whispers of injury niggles began to surface, reminding fans that football's cruel underbelly often lurks just beyond the glory. The North Londoners now turn their sights to Vale Park, where a League One outfit awaits in the Carabao Cup, a competition steeped in Arsenal's storied history of silverware, from the days of the Invincibles to more recent triumphs under Arsene Wenger. Port Vale, scrappy underdogs with nothing to lose, represent the sort of banana-skin fixture that tests a squad's depth and resolve. For Arteta, it's a chance to blood the fringe players, but these latest setbacks could force his hand in ways he'd rather avoid. Leading the injury docket is winger Noni Madueke, who hobbled off in the first half against City after clutching his knee in evident agony. The summer arrival from Chelsea, who's been a revelation in red and white with his blistering pace and end product, was substituted at the interval for the returning Bukayo Saka. Initial fears swirled around a potential anterior cruciate ligament tear, a nightmare scenario that would sideline him for months, but journalist Ben Jacobs has poured cold water on the worst-case murmurs, suggesting a layoff of mere weeks rather than the dark abyss of a full season. Compounding the headache is an unexpected blow from Piero Hincapié, the Ecuadorian defender who only inked his deadline day switch from Bayer Leverkusen. The 23-year-old, with his silky ball-playing chops and tenacious tackling traits that echo the modern centre-back blueprint, was a surprise omission from Sunday's matchday squad, despite Ben White and Saka's availability. Pundits initially chalked it up to tactical rotation, but Arteta set the record straight pre-kickoff. The lad simply wasn't fit enough to warm the bench. Hincapié's Arsenal bow came just days prior, a fleeting 6-minute cameo in the Champions League victory over Athletic Bilbao at San Mamés. He slotted in late on, looking every bit the poised international he'd been hyped as, with no visible limp or wince to betray trouble. Speculation now points to a training ground mishap during Saturday's closed-door session at London Coney, where the first-teamers fine-tuned their craft away from prying eyes. It's a cruel twist for a player who's already become a cult favourite among the Gooner faithful for his unflappable demeanour. Arteta, ever the measured Basque tactician, will dish out the latest bulletins on Madueke and Hincapié at Tuesday's pre-match powwow, a ritual as British as a post-match pie and pint. The Spaniard might also field queries on Martin Degaard's shoulder strife, the Norwegian skipper's second such niggle this term that's left him nursing wounds rather than dictating play. Degaard, Arsenal's midfield maestro with a wand of a left foot, penned a poignant note in the programme lamenting his really bad luck, a sentiment that tugs at the heartstrings of supporters who've seen him orchestrate symphonies from the engine room. In the grand scheme, Arsenal remain overwhelming favourites to dispatch Port Vale with the authority of a top-flight titan trampling a third-tier challenger. Think of it as David versus Goliath, but with the slingshot firmly in the Gunners' camp. The away leg at Vale Park promises a cauldron of noise from the home faithful, yet Arteta's lads should navigate it with relative ease, perhaps rotating to preserve powder for the Premier League powder keg ahead. It's the sort of tie where tradition demands a spectacle, cup football at its raw, romantic best, unencumbered by the corporate gloss of league fare. Bright sparks could emerge in the shape of full debuts for Max Daumann, Kepa Arrizabalaga, and Christian Nurgard, fresh faces itching to etch their names into Arsenal lore against modest opposition. The Spanish shot-stopper Kepa, on loan from Chelsea, might finally don the gloves between the sticks, while Nurgard's combative midfield presence could anchor the middle. As for Hincapie, should he shake off the cobwebs and declare fit, a starting berth beckons a proper christening for the Leverkusen import in the cauldron of cup combat. In the end, it's these trials that forge the metal of champions, innit? Thanks for watching Arsenal Time. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment below. Continue following the Gunners' journey with us, and see you in the next video. Come on, you Gunners!